Okay, first place that we want to navigate out to is irs.gov website. And once we get to this website, we will be able to pull up forms and publications. On the forms and publications link, you're going to see many different forms. We want to open the 1040EZ and the instructions that go along with it. Also on the IRS website, let's go ahead and open up the Form W-2, the wage and tax statement, and let's grab the actual Form W-2. We're going to be using the third page on this W-2 to complete the following situation. I have all of these links under the assignment that we did today, and also included in that is the W-2 information sheet that you're going to need to complete the W-2, the 1040EZ as well. So I'm going to work with you with this person, I'm a Pain. Using the information that was given to you on I'm a Pain, we're going to go ahead and fill out this information. The employer tax identification number is down at the bottom of the sheet, and we'll note that. The employer name is going to be Sullivan School District. Because we don't want to violate any identity theft, we're going to use this as everybody's social security number. And we're going to label in some information that we know. Go ahead and put in the employer's name and address. Once you have her address in there, let's go ahead and fill in the blanks. Again, I'm grabbing this information off the W-2 info page that I gave you for the worksheet. The wages, tips, and compensation is $32,000. The federal income tax withheld for I'm a Pain, I believe, is $1,500, but I'm going to double check that. Sorry, that's $575. And again, this information would be given to you on the chart. The Social Security wages is the same as the federal, and total wages is $32,000. The Social Security tax that's withheld would be taking the $32,000, multiplying it by the multiplier 6.5%. The Medicare wages is $32,000, and we would multiply that by 1.5%. So let's go ahead and do that now. So for Social Security, we're going to get $20.80 is our dollar amount. And for Medicare, we're going to take the $32,000 times 0.015, and we'll get $480 on this amount. We don't have any other information to fill up here that you see on the screen, so that's going to take us right down to box number 15. She lives in Missouri. The employer state ID number we're going to skip over. The state wages is the same as the federal, $32,000. The state income tax is given to us on our sheet, and I'll go pull that right now on the W-2 sheet. And it looks like our state is $120. So we'll use that. And we don't have to fill out any more. This would be a consideration of a completed W-2. Now let's go ahead and open up the 1040EZ. We're going to start up here by putting in Ima's information along with her Social Security and address. From here, I'm going to elect to do not donate to the presidential campaign. It says wages, tips, and salaries should be box 1 of my W-2. I'm going to go back and look at my W-2 at the same time I'm doing this form, and I can put these screens together so that I can see my W-2 on one side and my completed 1040EZ on the other. So box number 1 is going to be $32,000. Taxable interest is the information given to you on the W-2 info sheet, and our taxable interest from our savings account is $1,500. Unemployment, we don't have any. We're going to add lines number 1, 2, and 3 together. And then after we do that, it's going to say if someone can claim you or your spouse as a dependent, check the applicable boxes. Well, she's going to live on her own. She's 25, single, lives by herself. So I'm going to go ahead and complete the rest of this little section. This says that if no one can claim you or your spouse, enter $10,150 if you're single or $20,300 if you're married. So I'm going to go ahead and enter $10,150. I'm going to subtract these two lines, but I'm going to get the phone first. So line 6 says subtract line 5 from line 4. If line 5 is larger than 4, enter 0. Well, line 5 is not larger than line 4, so I'm going to do the math and subtract. So this is going to complete the income section of the 1040 EZ. At this point in time, we need to move to the second section, which is the payments and credits. The next line says federal income tax withheld from your W-2 and 1099. Well, if you're only looking at a W-2, then what we can do is look at these boxes over here, and the federal income tax withheld was $575. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that information on line 7. Line 8 is earned income credit. It's in bold, which means it's probably pretty important, but it says see instructions. So the instruction manual, when we pull it up, page 2 should be your best friend. And if we look to where it says earned income credit, we can go straight to page 12, and it talks about the earned income credit. Earned income credit is for certain people who work. Well, good. I'm a pain, definitely works. The credit may give you a refund. Ooh, we like to hear that. If you do not owe any tax or do not have any tax withheld. Well, hold on, tax withheld. She had tax withheld. If you have a qualifying child, well, that's not I'm a pain. I'm a pain is single with no kids. Let's keep going on this because I like the word refund. They'll be able to take the tax credit. It tells you to continue down to answer these questions. The first question to see if you qualify for an earned income credit is if the amount on the Form 1040 EZ line 4 is less than $14,590. So you go back to your 1040 EZ, you look at line 4, and ours is not less than that amount, it's greater. So in essence, the earned income credit would be for individuals or families that are below a poverty line, generally with kids. And so since she's a single working adult making above the poverty line, we will not be taking the earned income credit. We're going to take 0 compat pay election because that wasn't given to us in our scenario. We'll add these two lines together, and then we will come up with an amount of $575. Now it says tax. Use the amount on line 6. So we're going to look at our adjusted gross income, line 6 below our adjusted gross income to calculate the tax that's withheld. Well, the one thing that's good about our books is it gives us our taxes that are withheld on our W-2, and we can check that out. It is not, the tax tables in the book are not the total of the taxes withheld. Don't make that mistake. So we're going to go to page 30. And it told us to look at the lines above. So we need to look at, we've made at least $23,350. So we're going to use those tax tables on page 30. Scroll down to the $23,350 section. I'm going to zoom in. And we made at least $23,350, but not less than $23,350, and we are single. So we'll use the tax amount $3,053 on our W-2 form. Okay, when you get to line number 11 for healthcare individual responsibility, this should honestly be in bold, and you need to go into the instruction guide and check out the guidelines for healthcare responsibility. Basically, since the Obamacare has been initiated, it is your responsibility to have healthcare or you have to pay a penalty. So that is what the instructions say about the healthcare. And if you notice that in the information that we gave you, we noticed that provisions have been met with the healthcare. So at this point, all it tells us to do in the instructions is check mark the healthcare coverage and leave box number 11 blank. Finally, we get to line 12, add lines 10 and 11 together. So I'll calculate 10 and 11, and that will be our total tax, which is $30.53. Now we come down to the last section. Do we get a refund or do we owe money? And if we want to calculate if we get a refund, it says if line 9 is larger than 12. Well, 9 is not larger than 12, so bad news for I'm a pain because she is going to have to owe some money. And if line 9 is not, we're going to subtract 9 from 12 and put the amount that we owe in this column. And so I'll do that calculation real quick. 3053 minus 575, and we come out with owing 2478. At this point in time, this would be done. Ima Payne would sign her signature and date information right here, but if you are the tax preparer, please put your information at the bottom and hit print. Once you're done with Ima Payne, go ahead and use I'm a student would be next, and I'm a nuisance. I don't know if I spelled that right. I think I'll check that out. I'm a nuisance to be last. These people have different provisions, but I'm a student is single, lives at home with the parents, so she can be claimed as a dependent. I'm a nuisance is single, age 30, never been married, and she just has a bunch of cats. Good luck, have fun, complete the W-2s, then complete the 1040 EZs.